Hi, I'm Jackie. I am a grandmother to 13 or 14. They keep having kids, so I lose count. I have a wonderful hubby. I have three or four kids of my own and three stepkids. So lots of grandbabies. My oldest son still lives at home, and life is good. We live in southern Alberta. I'm doing my last camp of the season. The last 2 years, I've just been camping. Take the grandchildren out all summer. And I did one night, 2 nights by myself at the end of August. And I took a video, but I didn't have a mic, so it turned out really lousy. So I come out to the Oldman River Campground, Alberta Parks, to do a night and do a video. Probably the last camp this season because it is October 9th and this place closes on the 15th. I'm not fond of this campground because of the distance it is to the highway. I'm right on the highway, Highway 2. But it's the only thing open right now, and I got a nice secluded little spot, which I'll show you. Got my truck parked here. Nice little spot for my tent. Fire pit. I usually have an 8-person tent for camping because I have grandchildren and my kids come out and my mom comes out. But tonight I just brought a little 2-person and lots of blankets. So I better get my tent set up. I got my little tent set up. I got my bed made, sleeping bag, fuzzy blanket, and a sleeping pad, one of those ones you blow up with your foot. So it should be cozy. I got my fire going. I gotta get up some hot coals, get some hot coals built up there so I can cook my dinner. I have a steak. I have radishes to roast. I have asparagus and whole green onion. I'm gonna cook all that on the fire. Now, if you don't like radishes, try roasted radishes. Put sour cream on them, bacon bits, just like potatoes. But you'd be amazed how good they taste. My kids all love them, and they don't eat radishes normally. I love camping. I love being out in nature. Um, I have real problems with the fall and winter. But the last few years, it's been a lot better. My state of mind has been a lot better, so it's easier to deal with. But even in the winter, I go to the river. We have a wilderness park in town, and I go there and just sit at the river. My grandchildren love camping. Some of them. I haven't taken all of them out yet. But my one grandson, Jason, he loves camping, and usually I take him out for all of July. And we had quite a good summer this year. I can't go too far from home because my husband is disabled. And he needs me. He's a good husband. So I take care of him. I'm just outside of town right now. I'm not too far. I think I said that already. But pretty soon I'll be able to cook my dinner. And just like that, dinner is ready. Look at that steak. I like my steak rare. These are so good. Just gonna dig into my dinner. I haven't eaten all day, which is not good for me. I have diabetes and high blood pressure. So after I'm all done camping, then I work on myself. Radishes with some seasoning salt. I put some other seasonings on them, whatever you like. Squash is good with this too. Steak is perfect. I'm gonna eat my dinner and then sit at the fire with the coffee. Just relaxing by the fire. I had my dinner. It was so good. I'm so full. I didn't eat all my steak. I never do. Usually, when we make steak, my dog gets a good portion of it. I have a Malamute cross at home, and she's our baby. But yeah, dinner was good. I'm just sitting here having a coffee. Kind of spooky out here. I forgot to bring lights. I did bring one and my little flashlight. So I'm good for light. Just sitting by the fire, having a coffee. I hear the coyotes starting. Usually that's my sign to go to bed, but it's not very late right now. I love hearing the coyotes. Just put one more piece of wood on there. One more. It's probably hard to see me. It's quite dark out here. You can see all the stars. Oh, they're so beautiful. Oh, the coyotes are just going. They're quite a ways away. So this summer we camped at Park Lake out just north of Colehurst. And it's not the greatest campground. It's crowded. The spots are close together and there's not privacy. But there is a beach there, and I had my grandsons with me. So we went there a couple times. I think the first time we stayed 4 nights, and my mom came out and stayed a night with us. We love when Granny comes camping. After that, we camped at the Fort Macleod Lions Park. We camped there, I think, 3 times. I did a solo camp there for a couple nights. But I think I said before, I didn't have a microphone, so the wind cut out most of my talking. I'm just realizing now I should have my camera turned sideways, but I can probably make this one work. It's a learning curve. Well, we went for one night with my friend River. They came out to visit. That was my first time meeting them. I've known them 24 years on the internet. When I first started to learn how to use the internet, we met in a mom group. And then I camped a couple times with the kids at the Lions Park campground. It's not the most beautiful campground, but I mean it's out in the prairies, but it's in its own little forest, so you get really private spots. And the camp host is really nice. All the camp hosts there. Camped there a few times. Where else? Oh, the first camping trip of the summer, we went to. Well, it was with my sister. My sister said she would never go camping ever. We would joke back and forth, and I said, "You'll do it, you'll do it." And then one night, she texted me and asked me if I wanted to go camping in the beginning of July. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. Apparently, she was a little inebriated. But I booked the campground so she couldn't back out. Booked and paid for it. And then She came out. That was the first week of July. We had so much fun. I've never spent that kind of quality time with my sister. She lost her husband just over a year ago now. He passed away from a rare disease, and uh, he was pretty awesome. He was my age. We all went to school together. He's been in our family since high school. They were high school sweethearts. And she took care of him for about 14 years. 24-hour care he needed. So she got a good job working at home, and their love story is just beautiful. But she's doing okay. She's living for herself now. Anyways, our camp was fun. We went thrifting. We went thrifting in Fort McLeod and Lethbridge. Met up with our friend Allison, who is an old friend of Lisa's. And she just happens to live out here, so we took her thrifting with us and out for lunch, and it was so nice. Nice to get out and meet other people and see other people. I'm quite an introvert, so I don't really go out with friends, go out and visit many people. And then our next camp after that was me and my mom and my grandson Jason went to the Kananaskis. We went to bear country. And we went up to Blue Rock Campground, just on the other side of Turner Valley, about half an hour, 40 minutes out. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was cold at night, but it was still early in the season. We met my brother and wife and their kids out there and stayed 3 nights and had a blast. And then I think we did Park Lake. Me and Jason did Park Lake after that. And then a couple more camps. Just was a really good summer. And now I'm just relaxing. I'm kind of sad. This is my last camping trip of the year, but I can plan for next year. I'm going to try and make some money and pay off debt. Maybe buy a trailer or a tent trailer. I would love a tent trailer. Easy for me to tow. Might even be able to get the husband out camping. He can't camp because he is in so much pain. He can't. He can't even ride to the store in the vehicle. It hurts too much. I worry about him. But, he might by next summer be able to get out if I call it bougie camping for him. We used to have a bus. We lived in a bus for, I think it was a year, back in 2007. We sold our house, and it was just when the house prices went up, so we made some good money on that house. So we went to White Rock, BC, and we bought a Greyhound conversion, and it was old, but it was pretty cool. It even had a washer and dryer. We lived up in the Kananaskis for a while. We took it and went to BC, up to Williams Lake, and wound up renting a house there. And moved back home eventually. After, I think it was just over a year, maybe it was 2 years. 2009 we moved back to Calgary. Well, Okotoks. A lot happened. Don lost his mom, and my dad and mom got divorced. That was a big event. uh, and I love BC. It's one of my favorite places to be. But I'm born, raised in Calgary, and once you live with Chinooks all your life, you can't go without them. And in BC in the winter, every time it snows, the snow just keeps piling up and piling up. Like it doesn't melt. There's no warm front that comes in and melts it all, so you can wear your shorts for 2 days in the winter. So I got into a bad state of mind out there. And then Don lost his job because they closed down some mills and he delivered wood chips. So there was no work. I worked at A&W, which was, my first time working in a burger joint and hard work. But I met so many people there that I love to this day. Still Facebook friends with all of them. I learned a lot, and I would work in A&W again. It's good work. And then in 2015, we moved to Fort Macleod. Don has some family out here. I wound up taking care of his aunt for a few years till her end of life, just to help the family out. Learned a lot from her, had fun. We had fun. There were hard moments because she was in a lot of pain too, but she was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot of good cooking skills from her. For example, I gotta tell you about this one because I never make turkey at Christmas because we don't like turkey. None of us really like it. Every time I make it, it's dry. So she needed someone to make her turkey one year. This was just a couple years ago. And she taught me a great way to make stuffing, but not only that, in order to cook the turkey, preheat your oven to 500 degrees. Once it's heated, put your turkey in. Every half an hour, turn it down 50 degrees. And within a couple hours, your turkey is done. And it is so juicy. I've never had juicy turkey. So I've been making it that way now for about 3 years. And it's so quick. And it turns out so good. And even Don, he doesn't like turkey. He likes it in sandwiches for a couple days. But even he said, from now on, if you make turkey, we have to make it like this. That's the only way he'll eat it. So that worked out good. It's only 9 o'clock. And my son's at home. Hopefully. He works on diagonally the other side of town. So if I go anywhere like camping, he's got to walk home from work. So typical mama, worried. But I'll text him in a little while. It's getting chilly out, but I told myself I was not going to go to bed until I burned all this wood. I have probably 8 pieces left. I have all this wood at home, scrap wood that we collected when the grandsons and I first started spending summers together. And the pile got bigger and bigger. So all summer, everywhere I go, I bring 2 bins of that wood with me. And I have it almost down to the bottom. So I gotta burn up all that wood. I don't do fires too often in the winter at home, but I might start. I got a nice fire pit my mom gave me. She gave me a big one with a stack on it, and it used to be my dad's, I think. But I'm feeling pretty safe out here. Usually I go in at night when it gets dark. But I don't know, something about here I feel safe. Even though they gave me a pamphlet about living with cougars when you register. But, I mean, living out here, I know there's cougars. And bears. The stars are so beautiful. I feel pretty safe, and I got people right beside me in a big fifth wheel. This camp spot is nice and private, but this campground doesn't have too many private spots. So I think I'm just going to enjoy my coffee, and then I will head to my tent with my crossword book and my phone, my battery pack. Maybe sit in there for a while and do some puzzles. Yes, I'm an old lady. Well, I've used up all my wood. It's just the last little slices are burning down. And have my dessert, passion play. And then I'm going to head into my tent after I put my fire out. I got 3 big jugs of water I brought with me to do that. It's getting windy, a little bit cool. I will see you in the tent. I'm in my cozy little tent. It's very small. I'm not used to this. I'm used to my big, I think it's an 8-person. It's either 8 or 10. We usually sleep on cots. This is cozy. It keeps me out of the wind. It's cool out, but I think I'll be warm here. I have 3 blankets. I put one down to lay on, and I have a sleeping bag and a fuzzy blanket, so I should be okay. I'm gonna sit here and do some crossword puzzles and then go to sleep. Good morning. I had a good sleep. It was pretty good. It was chilly, but I stayed warm, cozied up under my blankets. I had a fitful sleep, but not because of the weather. Fitful and good sleep. I mean, I had a good sleep because I love sleeping outside. But I woke up a lot because this camping site is right on the highway. And the camp host has dogs that bark constantly. So that woke me up. I kept hearing noises in the trees and trying to figure out what that was. It's fall. The leaves are falling. So I'm just having a coffee. And I'm gonna go home. Drive my son to work. This definitely isn't going to be a regular camp spot for me. If I turn off the microphone with the noise, you can hear all the cars, hopefully. A lot of traffic on this highway. It's right on Highway 2, right before you get into Fort McLeod. And the big rigs come down and they're noisy. So I don't think I'm going to be back here. But I wanted to get out one last time and try this place out. Because I've never been here. So now I know. This is my little camp stove. It's just a 1-burner Coleman. It uses little bottles of butane. You get a Canadian Tire. My daughter bought me this, and it's been working great for me. I've had it for 2 years now. I love it. I can make coffee on it. I've made dinner on it. Great little stove. I'll show you what a beautiful morning it is. The sun's coming up. I had a fire till about 11, I think it was, when I went to bed. I really could just sit here all day in the sun, fresh air. Not with the highway noises though. I gotta get home to my hubby. I'm not sure what kinds of things I'm gonna be vlogging on YouTube here. I know some of it will be cats. I never liked cats until I moved to Fort McLeod, and now they just seem to come to me. So I have a colony of feral cats I've been feeding for about 3 years. A lot of my family and friends, they donate food, so I don't have to buy much food for them, which is nice. Thank you, everybody. I started out with 12 ferals, and I'm down to 5. I got 2 into rescue. The Last Chance Cat Ranch in Lethbridge, they rehabilitate all ferals. And I had one that was my favorite. I called him Buddy. On the ranch, they named him Kronos because for their paperwork, they can't have 6 buddies on their list. So they renamed him, and it was a majestic name. I like it. I forget the meaning of it. Something to do with he rose to save his family. And he did. He saved his mate. They named her Aradia. I called her Skinny Minnie because she kept losing hair. She was black fluffy. She'd lose her hair every spring. And then she got so skinny. And, Buddy's not with us anymore. But that's for another video. And Aradia is being rehabilitated. She's the sweetest little thing. They had kittens. And one of their kittens I had made friends with and was able to pet him. And right before he disappeared, I had him in my lap once. And then he disappeared. And that was, I'm going to say owls because I live right by there. And I had an owl attack my cat. And coyotes. And I ran over there so many times in the middle of the night with a flashlight to scare off animals. Anyways, I could finally pet Buddy. The last year, I could scratch his head while he was eating. I couldn't pick him up. But then, when my cat was attacked by an owl, Buddy had a similar injury on his back end, and that's when I got him into rescue. Thank you, Nadine, for everything you did for him. That's for another video. I'm going to link some of my favorite camping items I bought in the description, because there are a few things that I just can't live without. I love my little stove. I have a frame that holds a big 5-gallon water jug, so you can just buy the water cooler jugs. That comes in very handy. And I guess no more camping till next summer, next spring. I'll have my little camping buddy with me, hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't get sick of me. He loves camping. Not one time did he say, "No, I don't want to go camping, Grandma." He was excited every time, no matter where we went. So it's good to have him, Jason. And what else can I talk about on my channel? Just my life, I think. I'm a super laid back person. Some people take it as not caring, but I care deeply, a little too deeply. So I don't go out and hang out with people regularly. I love being at home with my husband. I do a lot of artwork. I make sun catchers. I make things out of resin. I've sold quite a few items. I have a little Etsy shop. So when I get home, I got a couple things to finish off, a couple orders. And that's it. That's me. I hope you enjoy if you're watching. Have a good one.